Welcome everyone to another episode of The Creative Minds. Joining me here today is Darine. So, Darine, can you please tell me more about who you are and what is it that you do?
Hello, Aida. How are
Hi.
you?
Doing
Thanks
well?
for having me.
Of course.
Okay, so let me first introduce myself in general as a human being. I would say I'm someone who's tried to find ways or learn new skills to express and reflect my inner self and to create something that I would want to see in my life and in this world. So that's in general. And professionally, I would say I'm the founder of A Minute Marble. It's a 1 minute video portrait. We feature inspiring people for a minute for them to speak about their journeys, experiences, and stories behind their success. Just to shed the light on them and to give them the right exposure. And most importantly, to inspire people through their stories and experiences.
Can you tell me a bit more about like your background? So, what did you study, and then how
Yeah.
you kind of ended into that path?
Sure. So I majored computer graphics and animation here in Amman. And then I started my own animation company. I worked on it for 2 years. And then I suddenly decided that I want to learn something new and I want to add more skills to the things that I do. So there I decided to study filmmaking and I went to New York. I studied filmmaking in New York Film Academy. And I fell in love with the process of the whole filmmaking process. And then I came back to Amman, and in between starting Eminent Marble and filmmaking, I studied also. I did the fine arts diploma in Barcelona. I was at a time where I want to explore all of my creative sides, so I went to
Yeah.
film and fine arts. I did a lot of paintings and sculptures, and
Mm.
all of those things to actually kind of know what I want exactly.
Mm.
But filmmaking was the thing.
Mm.
So after that, I started basically Eminent Marble, and I started it in 2017. And yeah,
Nice. And why did you decide to go into animation at first? Like, was it like, were your parents okay with that? Because usually in our culture, it's either you're a doctor, engineer, or like finance. Like, what were your family? Was your family
yeah.
okay with that?
So that has to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
I just like the title. I just wanted something
Interesting.
fun at
Yeah.
that time. I didn't know what I want to do in life. I
Yeah.
was super unfocused and
Yeah.
I didn't have answer for anything, what I want to
Mm.
do, what I want to study, where I want to go, where nothing, I
Yeah.
just was going with the flow.
Yeah.
And then I found this major, computer graphics and animation. It sounded fun and playful, which is
Yeah.
things that I like to do.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, let me just, give it a try.
Yeah.
And maybe I like animation.
Yeah.
And to be honest, when I studied it, it wasn't fun at all. I just couldn't wait for me to graduate and
Yeah.
just finish from this nightmare at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's how it sounded.
Yeah.
And then after I graduated and started working in animation, I really enjoyed it.
Interesting.
So yeah, it was basically just I just didn't know what I want to do, and
Yeah.
I found animation, and I said, okay, let me just go there and explore it.
And then you went into filmmaking and you
Yeah.
fell in love with the process of filmmaking.
Yes.
So first of all, is like, what did you love about filmmaking, and what in the process that did you enjoy doing? Because it requires creativity and it requires patience for you to like see an end result after a while
Yes.
of putting every bit and effort into creating something. So what did you like about the filmmaking specifically?
I think being able to reflect an idea or a time frame or an experience or a story into and putting your creativity and your style um, and your skills and put it out there and let people watch it and you can play with their emotions and you can make them feel happy or sad or just that thing, that process of having an idea and then transform it into physical form, which is video, and you can put it anywhere in the world. You can put it online, and you can make sure that anyone you want in the world can watch it. That access and that accessibility, I think that I was really enjoying. It's an easy way to express yourself and to deliver messages because everything now is visual and everything now goes online. So having that tool with you is such a powerful tool. And I think what's most important is for you to be able to find your authenticity in the process, which is basically to add your character, your culture, your ingredients, and how would I make the story um, reflected or illustrated or coming out from Darine, who has different things, you know, in life and experiences. So I think just the whole process from having an idea into a physical form is what I enjoy the most.
Interesting. And I think this is like the hardest part, but how do you transfer it from just it being an idea into something in a physical form? Like, what do you go through? How does the idea generation take place? Do you set a certain time for ideas to come and flow? Like, how do you go by this whole process?
Yeah. So صراحة, yeah, I get my inspiration from super random things, yeah, from the simplest things, actually.
Yeah.
So, you know, from just listening to people's stories, going out for a long walks, traveling, exploring things, trying weird things around. There when I get ideas, I'm like, okay, wow, this is something really cool. And I felt it deep within that I want to like amplify the idea or the experience and to stretch the time frame or what happened in that second, you know, and just to make a story out of it.
Yeah.
And then it started as an idea. So I write it down. I just find the time to really, you know, just go in depth with what I feel, how I want it to be, the scene, the background, who I wanted as subjects, people, and all that. And then I start with storyboarding. So I just try to reflect or illustrate what I have in mind visually. So we start, you know, storyboarding the whole thing, how it starts, the scenes, the look and feel of the video, the time, you know, everything will be there. So there, everything becomes super easy for you. Be able to know the kind of scene that you want to shoot, how many people you want to have. Everything flows after that. And then once you have your camera with you and you have an eye for it, you know what exactly you want to take. Everything that I do is not, and part of it is spontaneous. I like the genuine vibe with everything that I produce. It's not staged. I know the guidelines. I have things that I want to do and make sure I'm not going to go off the track or things that I want to have within the video or the film. But I leave things for, you know, just whatever I feel like I want to take. I just go for it. I ask some questions that are not in the script because I like to get the genuine emotional answers from the people that I interview.
What is it about feelings that are so exciting in a sense? When you watch a movie, you're looking for this feeling, and when you feel it, then you feel that you got the best out of the movie. You mentioned feelings a lot. It's like you want it to be more authentic. You want it to be the feelings to show up as it's taking place in this moment. Why do you care so much about finding a way to express a feeling?
Yeah, because I think for me, actually, emotions probably are long lasting. It's the only thing that stays with me forever when I watch whatever or I listen to whatever story, you know. You could see a lot of movies around you, but the ones that are unforgettable, that the ones that actually moved you, you know, you would, when you remember the name or the title of the movie, you definitely, the first thing that you know you feel is the emotion, that how it made you feel. You know, you get emotional, it makes you feel happy, it made you feel cry, it made you feel sad and you cried. So that emotion, I feel that lasts forever with us. So that thing that I would want to make sure that exists in everything that I produce.
And you know, as you were saying this, it's kind of made me reflect too that, you know, a feeling of sadness to you might look different than it to me. So when you say
100%.
You want to express a feeling, it's how you see it, but it could be totally different than how I see it, which I find very interesting, right?
Yeah, it depends on where you're at in life, the amount of experiences you've done. I think it's different from person to another. Something could make me laugh forever, and they'll be like, "No, Darine, this is so not funny," you know. I'm like, "Okay, fine."
Exactly. And going back to this part too as well, how are you able to express a certain emotion and have it well received by the audience? Not just for you to understand it, but then have other people understand or feel what you were feeling or an emotion that you're trying to express in that moment.
Okay, so because I'm really deeply inspired by people's stories, journeys, hardships, experiences in life, and that because it's really fuels my life when I listen to others' stories and all. That's the only thing that, not the only thing, but that's what I focus the most on. is to highlight people's stories within the documentaries or the short films that I do for people, because it definitely will move everyone, regardless of what you're doing, where you're at in life, and the kind of experiences that you're looking for. All of us would want to find a source of inspiration or a place that we guarantee if we look into those short documentaries, we will be a bit moved, Yeah.
And how can you make a movie or let's say a minute
Yeah.
of someone's story more inspirational, more touching? Because I know music plays a big part in how people perceive information and how they feel afterwards. So
Yeah.
for you, what would you say are key elements that can really enhance a minute or a video, or to enhance an emotion that you're trying to express?
Yeah. I think most importantly, the person that we feature, their experiences, their stories. Plus, we need to make sure that the content is as genuine and authentic as possible. So we look into people who really went through a lot in their life, and they overcame all of the challenges and the fears and all the hardships for them to reach to where they are right now in life. And because I'm sure those people who've been through that journey, that uncertain journey, they have a lot of content to share, and they're interesting. So once we get there and we start shooting their story and doing the interview with them, we don't send them the questions. We just tell them that we're going to be featuring your personal story into finding your company or your project and all of that. It's the behind the scenes story, which is now people are not really focusing on. I don't want to say now to generalize the whole situation, but most of the media or the projects or let's say the commercial media focuses on successes and people who were mainly in the tech and business side of things.
Yes.
The focus is always there. Even if you want to get an if you want to go to an investment company, they're like, you're not in business or tech, you're a creative being, we don't know where we're going to allocate you. I'm not sure if we trust you. You don't know where we're going to go. So, because I feel those people in specific, they deserve the highlight and the spotlight and the exposure. And I think they need to be celebrated and for being brave enough and have the courage to go through all of the things and all of the doubts and the questions and the resistance to be who they are right now and being their most authentic self, which is very hard. I would say being able to get that person with asking them the right questions by itself is an interesting and unique content.
Yeah. And how would you say someone, or how would you define someone to be as authentic? When you have a conversation, how do you know that this person is authentic?
Before we do actually the interview with them, we make sure that we do the right research. I talk to them for hours, try to understand them more. Being authentic is being yourself with everything that you do, with your external look, with your inner look, with whatever you're producing, creating in this world. Just for example, if someone who truly feels within that he wants to be a singer, and with the intention of he wants to be a singer, and he was able to reach there, and he created his own or her own original songs, you would say that this person is an authentic, with everything that they're doing.
Okay.
That's just an example, Yani.
Yeah, okay. And you also said that you like to highlight or share people's stories who've gone through a lot and they have a lot to share. Though my question here too is, do you think that people have to go through a lot of hurt and pain and confusion for them to have a story to share? Because sometimes they could have gone through this, but them not being able to reflect down and sit and realize that this is what they've gone through, they would not be able to share such a story. So I think it's everyone goes through life experiences in their own ways, but the moment when you sit down and reflect and realize that, you know what, this is my story, this is what I went through, and acknowledging that, I mean, that's what I feel really a story is able to shine, as opposed, because sometimes people don't realize that. What are your thoughts on this?
100%.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're so engaged in the process, you don't know what's going on around you. Once you stop, you're like, oh my God, I've been working on it for a year. I'm not seeing any results. I'm just, moving, and I don't know what's going to happen with me. And then when you reflect, you're like, okay, wow, I was so patient. I was so determined. You understand that you had this willpower that you don't know from where you got it. It's just a universal power that was telling you, yeah, just move, proceed. This is exactly where you're supposed to go. There's a lot of people that did not suffer in terms of suffering and pain. It was not that hard, but they all went through the same journey, which was uncertain, doubtful, has a lot of fears, people who rejected the ideas, lots of rejections. So some people, when they get multiple or multi-rejections, they feel, maybe I'm not doing the right thing. You need to be stubborn enough for you to say, I know that I'm getting a lot of rejection, but this is part of the process. I need to move on and proceed and move forward so I can actually get the result or get the answer. You might not be doing the right thing, but that answer will lead you somewhere else that could maybe lead you to where you're supposed to be doing. But if you stop, it's as if you didn't do anything, just whatever time and energy you did and put, it went to, I don't know where, like waste. That journey, I'm sure like everyone has to go through that for you to be able to live the fulfilling life, the life that you were supposed to live. You need to prove to this universe that you deserve it first,
And you talked or you mentioned earlier before, or actually before going to this, how would you describe your day to be like? Like, what do you do first thing in the morning? How's your schedule like? Do you have because I recall you mentioned earlier that you like to have everything planned, and COVID kind of changed your plans, and you had to rearrange and realign everything. So how is your typical day like, and how has COVID kind of affected this?
Okay, so I'm a super duper morning person. So I wake up early, 2 hours before I start my day. And I've been doing that for the past 4 years, maybe. I think by the time when I realized what I want to do in life, everything aligned and I became more structured and more disciplined. And I wanted to have a system and routine for me to be able to create and to prove what I want to do. So from that day, when I decided that, khalas, I want to take life more seriously, I want to make this happen, I'm at Marble, I realized that when the minute that I arrived at my office, I started replying to emails, answering phone calls. I'm there to communicate and engage with people around me, and I don't have time for myself. And at night, sometimes I go out with my friends, or I have things to read, or I sit with my family. So I don't have the time for Darine, to reflect and to know what I want to do or to plan. So I realized maybe I need to wake up 2 hours earlier for me to have my time, my Darine time, where I like wake up early, I meditate, I do a lot of breathing, and then I plan my day, and then I know exactly what I want to do, and then I do a lot of reflections every week. And then when I enter my office, I'm just ready to give and to receive, and
And you talked about meditation and reflection. So what does meditation mean for you, and what does reflection mean for you?
So I think meditation is a practice that I've been practicing for the past 4 or 5 years now. It started as I wanted to find a time where I can relax, where I can get answers. Everyone says, the only time that you can listen to your inner voice when you're in solitude, when you're alone, when there's no distractions around you. But at the beginning, it sounded like it really didn't make sense to me. And okay, Heini, I'm sitting inside it right now. I'm meditating, I'm breathing, closing my eyes. Everything's super quiet around me, but I couldn't feel or sense anything. So it takes some time. You have to do it a lot and a lot. You have to, at the beginning, there will be a lot of questions start popping in your head, like, what do you want to do today? Why are you doing this? I can't feel anything. No, it's not working out. All of that, you need those questions has to get out because they're there, they're embedded. They have to get out. Once they start getting out and you get used to the feeling and the emotion you get, there when you start in a way aligning and getting answers out of the things that you want to get. And it doesn't mean that whenever I do meditation, I get answers. It would be wonderful if I could do that. It's not that. But whenever I'm in solitude, or when I'm sitting with myself and trying to reflect on the things that I like to do, things that I don't like to do, things that I want to do, things that I don't want to do. There, when I start connecting things together, I'll be able to know where I want to travel, know where I want to eat, know what I want to do, know I'll be able to write down my goals, my tasks, things I want to try, you know?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I will be not able to do anything, because we're living in a crazy life that has a lot of things, you know, it's super fast.
100%.
You know? I don't know how this year has ended, yani.
I know.
2 more
Same.
months and this year is over.
I know. And what is reflection for you then? How's it different than meditation?
Reflection is basically journaling.
Okay.
So I ask myself questions like, you know, I have to be super honest and raw with myself, and that's also a practice. And you have to put your ego on the side with everything. If you're not honest with yourself, you won't be able to do anything. So I ask myself questions such as, you know, what are the things that I didn't feel good about it this week? Probably asking things about my personal relationships, or with clients, or with projects that I worked on, or things I would like to get better in or learn. Just be honest with myself and write super random things sometimes. Sometimes thing happened in my day that made me feel so uncomfortable, and then I proceed with my day, right? But that thing, I have to let it out. I have to find an outlet. So I write it down, or I speak to the person, or I'm no longer suppressing an emotion or anything. I just have to live lighter, feel lighter, and breathe lighter, and sleep lighter, you know.
100%.
So,
100%. And when did you embark on this journey of more like diving deep within, as opposed to being more reactive to your external surroundings? When did that happen, and why did it happen?
Yeah, I think because it was at a time where I was completely lost in life, and I felt so soulless, you know. I was just going with the flow. I was the person who's ready to go out whenever there's an outing. I just didn't have anything in life. I just felt, you know, I'm just literally going with the flow, and that feeling is kind of annoying. And I felt at that time that this is completely normal. You know, there are people in life where are focused and they're meant to be successful and happy, and other people are just like me. They're you know, just do whatever you want to do and see where life will take you. And then suddenly I felt so frustrated. I felt like, you know, مش معقول to live like that forever. I feel that I have a lot of potential that I'm never been able to, you know, achieve or unleash. And I started reading a lot of self-help or self-development, self-discovery books and self-help books, and watching lots of videos and documentaries about that. And when I realized that, no, it's all about the work that you do, the inner work that you do, that you can, it reflects, you mirror it back in your life. Well, when I started doing that, I definitely felt the shift, the switch or the shift, and I became an addict, to be completely honest.
And I think you got a great point here. It's the process takes time, and I think it's because it's always you want to show people around you that, you know, you're good, you're stable, you're making it, like you want to show the world, and it's not showing up at the pace that you want to, then you might stop in the middle. And I think you're so spot on. It's like you doing it for you, for the emotions that you feel is right for you, and living from a place of your truth. So I loved it. And this idea of the book, like, what is a book or your favorite book or the first book that you read that kind of like got you into this path?
Yeah, the first book that I've never been a reader, by the way. كل حياتي. I think I started reading when I was 26, I think. But no, حتى I was whatever. So the first book that I read was The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari for Robin Sharma. It was super intense. And I was like, I didn't really understand what was going on, and then I don't know, it started from there. And it shifted my life. Interesting.
And for you, at this moment, like, what is something that is exciting you the most? Because you're doing multiple different things, but what is something that's exciting you the most now, or you're interested to learn about?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I want to learn and explore, to be honest. I think now is the time for me to actually take a break and to learn new things and try things that I've been meaning to try, you know? So I love food, so I want to try like cooking more, trying to experience more recipes and ingredients.
Nice.
I'm into music,
Okay.
and I just love music, so I think I have to do something in that side, maybe to learn an instrument or to sing. No, something has to do there. Photography, maybe more. Travel. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I really want to try, random things, and I feel yeah, I feel I need to find the time. I will. I'm not gonna say that anymore. I will find the time to try out new things and explore myself more, and maybe do something else later.
Nice. And you also mentioned as well in a call earlier that you focus on the holistic approach of things. Like you talked about food, you talked about the whole balance, right? But how important is food for you? And let's say food and exercise, how important are they for you?
First of all, I love food. Yani food is everything. I just eat everything. But I I'm kind of try to find the balance between eating whatever is there and eating whatever is good for me and for my body. And the time when I have to stop eating, basically. I do jog every day in the morning, so that's that I didn't mention part of my morning routine. I do lots of yoga, sometimes alone or with a group. With an awesome yogi. I used to do super random things such as calisthenics and CrossFit, but I found myself in yoga, long walks and running.
What about the walks? Like I heard or like also interviewed a lot of people who talk about them loving long walks or just walking in nature. What about them that keeps you always coming back to them?
Yeah. I think first of all, you have to make sure if you want to go for long walks, the intention of just decluttering and just to have some mental space, because sometimes you feel so full, you don't have time, you don't have the space to think or to put a new idea in your head. So you need to create this mental space. I feel walking is the best way to do it, but without listening to music. Just have to go there, walk. Something at the time where you're only listening to your own thoughts. You need to do that. Because your monkey might start talking to you, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's good. You need to put it out. You need to, to find a vent or an outlet for those crazy thoughts that you've been suppressing for years and months. Just go out for long walks. At the beginning, you have lots of conversation going on in your head. Someone you didn't talk to, or something that you wanted to say to someone, or something that made you so mad, or you practice on something that is in your head, or a song that you want to sing, just go out with your own thoughts and let them all out, and then you feel lighter, you feel better.
And I think what happens? So you have the thoughts come up, and then what? Do you write them? What do you do with them?
Sometimes I get an idea that I feel, oh my God, wow, Sarah, this is something that I want to work on. I go back home and I write it down, and I make sure, I have the time. I'll go back again to that idea and to think about it, what I want to do with it. Is it something that, just gonna cross my life, or I'm gonna do something about it,
Okay.
So I truly believe that we need to find an outlet to have some mental space for everything we want to do in life, because it's too much. And
how do you stay positive?
I think this question, I get it from everyone that I talk to, or حتى from my friends and family. هلا صراحة, because I work a lot on myself, on my inner self. A lot. So I do lots of breathing, meditation. I'm into energy healing. So I'm a Reiki practitioner, and I have my Reiki healer. And I'm into, and I have my life coach.
Yeah.
And I know how to deal with my own emotions, and
Yeah.
I do a lot of reflections,
Yeah.
and I'm just so honest with myself and people around me with everything that I do. And that's where I, in a way, become a positive person.
Yeah.
But of course, I have my highs and lows. I get to the days where I can't see anyone.
Yeah.
I just want myself and my energy for myself to restore everything and to become again
Yeah.
who I am or who I want to be. So it's not that I'm always positive, but I try to be positive for myself, Saraha, not for others, because we're living in a life that is not easy. There's a lot of challenges around us, whether internally or externally, whether emotionally or mentally. So if I don't take care of myself, Saraha, I just will not be the person who I am right now, and will not be able to give anything.
True.
So I feel, because I do a lot of inner work as much as I do a lot of external work. I do, كتير في ناس, they focus on their external look. They want to look good. They want to feel good. They want to look good. So they go to gym crazily. They look perfectly. Their hair is very, very well done. Their clothes is super cool. But they tend to forget about their inner self. That's the most important part. If you feel good, you will look good. You will send out beautiful vibes. Everybody will want to be around you. Everybody wants to work with you. Everybody will have. But if you look good and you feel bad, for me, sorry, I won't be able to work with you as a client. I won't be able to talk to you as a human. So I think working on your inner self is the most important thing, and it's the most beautiful thing.
Nice. And there's a lot of recurring theme of creativity and art in your page on Instagram. So I really love that you engage. Like you mentioned, like you said, everything that you do in your work, it's amazing. So a few more questions. First of all, is who inspires you? A person dead or alive that just inspires you?
Who inspires me?
Yeah.
I think I don't have an answer, one rigid answer for that. But inspiration comes from experiences and in exploring myself and exploring things around me and try super random weird things that will make me feel uncomfortable and will make me feel doubtful. That moment where I feel inspires me the most to create and to produce things. It's just really random things. Nothing in specific.
Awesome. And do you believe that we all have a purpose in life?
Yes. And I think that's the main reason of our existence in life. So some people are aware of that, others are not. It doesn't matter, by the way. It's not that everybody has to find, we all have to find our purpose in life. But if you want to live the life that you're meant to live, which is fulfilling, happy life, you need to find your purpose. And purpose doesn't have to be, if you find a purpose today, it doesn't have to last for you forever. It might change in a year or two, or it might not change, but you need to find your reason. Why am I here? If you find a reason through being super curious and driven by curiosity, not fear, you will be able to find answers, to do things, and to find your purpose in life. Could be reflected in your work or at the time when you have free time for yourself. Could be playing music or writing an article or I don't know, there's a lot of things around us that we can do. But I truly believe that, we all have, we are meant to find our purpose in this life. And once we find it, Saraha, you start entering the magical world. I'm not a unicorn, but I don't want to sound like a unicorn at anything.
No.
But because I've experienced both. I was in a life where I was lost, and I was living the life that was super great. And then when I entered that world, when I gave myself the time and the space and the permission to fail and to try and to explore, and I realized that I want to be a filmmaker who reflects people's stories and journeys in a short duration, which is that kind of content that I would like to listen and be part of. I felt so fueled and energized every day. So
I think it's a great point that you mentioned there is you said a great point where you said that it could be writing an article. It could be you mentioned that it could be the small thing that is giving you purpose. It
Yes,
does not have to
it's
be this
aslan.
huge.
No, it's in the smallest thing. Smallest things and simplest things are the most
Yeah.
complicated things, by the way.
Yeah.
And you have to ask yourself genuinely and to be honest, Darine, what do you want to, what is the thing that is missing in your life? And there you can get an answer for what the thing that you should do in your life. You know, simplest things like, I don't know, like I want to get a socks that makes me feel comfortable when I'm wearing shoes. Okay, let me do that, you know. هيك
Yes.
اشياء صغيرة صغيرة صغيرة. You don't have to
صح.
complicate, you don't have to be a genius or the smartest human on earth to do something new. Because
صح.
those things, يعني خلاص, they're there, you know. Just those raw, genuine, simple things that you're like, oh my God, كيف دارين فكرت فيها?
صح.
You know, yeah, you know, those things that last forever, you know. Yeah.
So what do you what would you say your purpose is now?
My purpose now, صراحة, I would say to make the invisible heroes visible to the world. Invisible heroes visible to the world. And that's how I feel that I did to myself too. You know, I was at a time super invisible. Nobody knew anything about me and what I do and all. And then when I found an opportunity to become visible, I felt how grateful I was for that moment or that opportunity. So I want to give these opportunities to others and make them feel visible and heard لكل حد بالعالم through different tools. And I would say now I'm using videography as a tool.
Yeah, amazing. And two more questions. First one is, what advice would you give to your younger self?
I gave myself the permission to be courageous enough to live the life that I wanted to live, that now I'm living. I think I would be maybe in a better place, but صراحة, I'm grateful for who I am and where I am right now.
Yeah, and when you mentioned it earlier, like you said, fail and try and explore. I really felt like I really felt it when you said it. That's why I was like, what advice? Like I really felt that you're so true though. Like we're always taught to be perfect. We're always taught to get this A grade, and if you fail, then if you fail this test, then you're such a loser. You're a failure. I mean, what is we forgot this purpose or this meaning of like learning from what you do as opposed to it being right or wrong, good or bad.
Exactly.
Like it's the
we're taught that fear, shame, uncertainty are negative emotions.
Yes.
Although there are emotions. We're not supposed to say they're negative.
Exactly.
And after those emotions, you will reach to where you want to be. That doesn't mean if you feel uncomfortable right now, that means your intuition is telling you you're doing the wrong thing. No. We have to understand that with creativity, fear will coexist. And we have to, there's something that I want to say too, that we don't have to overcome fear. We have to be comfortable or get comfortable with fear. Along the journey. Because and if you're doing something new, your body will react to it in a physical form. You'll feel stressed, you'll feel anxious, you'll feel uncomfortable. And, oh my God, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself? No, I need to stop. Because you're doing something new. Your body is not ready for it. It's not used to it. And then you'll feel comfortable with it. And then you need to find something else that will make you feel uncomfortable.
You're so right on this. And the idea of, I think you mentioned it several different times, it's emotions. And I think for me, part of what really helped me in my own journey as well is understanding emotions, like understanding, because before you would feel, but you don't know what those emotions are. But when you actually genuinely sit down and figure out, okay, this is happiness, this is joy, this is fear, this is excitement, this, just be observant of those emotions and exist with them. That's power.
When you feel fear or any uncomfortable emotion, that's a sign that you're getting out of your comfort zone and you're doing something new, which should excite us now. You know, which makes me, it's a sign telling me, Darine, you're getting out of your comfort zone and you're doing something new. Yani, otherwise, if I stay like that without feeling uncomfortable, I would know that I'm not doing anything new and I'm just in my comfort zone.
And the final question, what is your definition of success?
Okay, so success, صراحة, definition has changed along the way, but now I would say being true to myself. Being true to myself without compromising. So
why isn't this something that you would you do by default? Why would you consider this as a success?
Because you need to work on yourself to be your true self.
Mm.
With everything that you do, I don't feel that, I'm sure we were born with our purest form, but with life has changed, and there's a lot of things that, a lot of layers that made us become not the person that we want to be. But I think, being able to be your true self, صراحة, this is the true meaning and the ultimate meaning of success. And there's a lot of work that we have to do, and there's a lot of, you have to be brave enough and courageous enough to say, this is who I am, this is what I want to do, and I don't care, صراحة, what you say, or if you judge me, or if you resist my idea. It's just as me, and whether you like it or not. And it's not easy, صراحة. It's not easy at all. And if كلياتنا we're able to be our true selves, then
it's heaven.
We're at peace.
Yeah,
it's heaven.
literally.
This is heaven. By the way, this is definitely heaven on earth.
Yeah.
This is heaven.
Thank you so much, Darine.
Thank you.
So for everyone to like find you, where should they connect with you? How should they find your content?
Yeah, my Instagram account, Darine Alashy, my personal and my professional, Feminine Marble. They can reach me there. Send me whenever. I'm like super active.
Thank you again so much. And
thank you.
For everyone listening, I hope you all have an amazing, awesome rest of your day.